The Stoic morning routine that rebuilds your mind. You wake up and within 60 seconds your phone is in your hand. Notifications. Headlines. Someone's opinion. Someone else's highlight reel. And before you've even had a single conscious thought of your own, your mind already belongs to someone else. Sound familiar? Most people hand their morning over without even realizing it. And then they spend the rest of the day wondering why they feel scattered, reactive, anxious. Why nothing feels quite right. Why they're always behind before they even begin. The ancient Stoics faced a version of this exact problem. Not phones, not social media, but noise. Political chaos. War. Plague. The Roman Forum at dawn was not a quiet place. And yet Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, these men built minds that could not be rattled. Minds that were calm before the storm hit. And they did it on purpose, every single morning. What if your morning wasn't a routine at all, but a rebuilding? A deliberate reconstruction of who you are before the world gets to decide for you. That is what this video is about. And trust me, if you stay until the end, the last section will completely change how you think about waking up. If this kind of thinking speaks to you, consider subscribing to the Unshaken Order. We translate ancient Stoic philosophy into practical tools for modern life. Hit subscribe, and let's get into it. The single most important moment of your day is the one nobody talks about. It is not your workout. It is not your cold shower. It is the first 10 seconds after your eyes open. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, wrote this: think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. He wrote that to himself, first thing, as a reminder that today was not guaranteed and could not be wasted. Here is the modern version of that problem. You wake up and your brain is soft, open, impressionable. Neuroscientists call this the hypnopompic state. The Stoics just called it an opportunity. Before you reach for anything, before you speak to anyone, place one hand on your chest and ask yourself one question: what kind of person do I want to be today? Not what do I need to do? Who do I want to be? That single shift sets the frame for everything that follows. The Stoics did not hope for an easy day. They prepared for a hard one. Epictetus, in the Discourses, said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." Epictetus was a slave. He had no control over where he slept, what he ate, or whether he would be beaten. And yet he became one of the most mentally free men in recorded history. Because he stopped fighting reality before it arrived. The practice is this. Before you leave the house, run a 1-minute mental rehearsal. Think of one thing that is likely to frustrate you today. A difficult person. A stalled project. Traffic. Then say to yourself, this may happen. And I will not be diminished by it. You are not being pessimistic. You are being prepared. There is a massive difference between the two. Here is what most people never realize. You are going to consume something within the first 30 minutes of waking up. The question is, who chose it for you? Seneca, in Letters to Lucilius, wrote, "Gather and save the thoughts that will armor you against poverty, against death, against all the other great afflictions." He was not talking about motivational quotes. He was talking about reading something true, something that fortifies the mind before the noise gets in. Seneca himself rose before dawn and spent the first part of every morning in private study. Not scrolling through what others thought. Writing down what he actually believed. The practice: give yourself 10 minutes of intentional reading before you open any app. One page from Meditations. A single letter from Seneca. A paragraph from Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way. You are not trying to become a scholar. You are building an immune system for your mind. Discipline of the body is not separate from discipline of the mind. The Stoics knew this. Cato the Younger, who lived with such relentless integrity that even his enemies admired him, was famous for walking barefoot through Rome in all seasons, for enduring heat and cold without complaint. Not to prove anything to others, but to remind himself that he was not soft. That comfort had not become his master. You do not need to walk barefoot through your city, but you do need to move. 10 minutes. Outside if possible. No podcast, no music. Just your body moving and your mind settling. The point is not fitness. The point is presence. The moment your feet hit the ground and your breathing deepens, your nervous system shifts. The mental noise quiets. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago, and every productivity system since has tried to rediscover it. Marcus Aurelius never intended anyone to read Meditations. That is the most important thing to understand about it. He wrote to himself. Every morning, or close to it, he sat down and worked out what he actually thought. Not what he was supposed to think as emperor. Not what his advisors believed. What was true, for him, right now. The practice is simple. Take 60 seconds and write one true thing about where you are in life. Not a goal. Not an affirmation. One honest observation. I have been avoiding the hard conversation at work. I feel more at peace this week than last. I am afraid of failing and I keep pretending I am not. That honesty, practiced daily, is what the Stoics called self-knowledge. And without it, no amount of philosophy helps you at all. Chrysippus, the third head of the Stoic school and arguably the man who built its intellectual architecture, taught that a rational person does not scatter their energy. They identify what matters most and they move toward it with clarity. Modern life is an assault on that idea. Your calendar, your inbox, your notification tray, all of them want a piece of you before you have decided what you actually value today. The fix is brutally simple. Before you begin your day, write down one thing. Not a list. One thing. The single most important action you could take today that would make everything else easier or less necessary. That is your aim. Everything else serves it or waits. Here is the truth about morning routines. It is not about the steps. It is about the statement you make to yourself before the world starts speaking. Every single morning, you get to choose whether you walk into the day already shaped by something ancient and proven, or whether you hand that shaping over to whoever grabbed your attention first. Marcus Aurelius chose. Epictetus chose. Seneca chose. They chose deliberately, with full knowledge that the day would be hard, that people would disappoint them, that things would go wrong. And they were ready. Now you can be too. If this video helped you think differently about your mornings, the next video on this channel will push that even further. Watch it now. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it. The Unshaken Order is here every week, translating what the ancient Stoics knew into what you actually need today.